and I was going to be a lot closer to a lot of you guys. So I should be leaving no later than Saturday.
Okay.
Wow.
And where are you going again?
Delaware, Wilmington.
Okay. Well, that'll be good. We got Chef on there, so I'm assuming that Chef Joseph. He coming on another. Yep, that's him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, how y'all doing?
Hi.
Hi.
Who you say like Batman? Is that what you said? John, you should be a comedian.
I've been told that, but when I get on stage, I bomb. So I stick to being in the corner.
They don't.
So we're starting to get people to come on. So we'll give everybody a couple more minutes to get on. We have quite a few things that we want to share with everybody, and be able to get a few updates on a few things that took place. Quinn and I went to the NRCS, the Black Employees Conference in Atlanta, along with TJ, and had a very great time. One of the farmers that I work with in Indianapolis happened to win she got third place in the Small Farmers Award.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm assuming that she didn't know about it. But it was an honor for me to be there. I was kind of shocked. I had my head down. Somebody was giving me some information because we were on a break, and I kept hearing this person talking. I said, "Man, that sounds like Sharana." And next thing I know, I kept hearing her talk, and I looked up and I said, "Man, that girl even looks like Sharana." And so, with all that being said, I ended up looking and seeing that it was her, and so. She got third place and was able to go up there and to receive it and everything. So looks like we got getting quite a few people on there. I see TJ, and we get the honor of having my lovely mother on there, Miss Elizabeth down there.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, MD.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, keeping it all in the family. Now, see somebody
right.
here with a 252 area code. Who is that?
It's Lisa. Hey, how you doing? Princeville Homecoming.
Okay. All right. Hold on just a moment. Because I want to make sure we got you. It's Dr. Lisa. And she's with Princeville. So she's going to have some information to share with everybody that we're going to have. So we're going to give everybody about 2 more minutes. We got somebody down here from a 718 area code. Who's that?
Samantha Farmer from Brooklyn, New York. Hello, everyone.
Right.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Mother Samantha.
Hello, Mother Frenchie. I hear you.
All right.
And then we got LG K30. Who's that?
Yep. This is so if you see someone from ending in 5257 or beginning in 916, this is Tamika. I have to dial in.
All right, no problem. Did you get the? I take it you got the text message, right?
I did, yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. I tried to send you an email, but it was taking a while for that to come up. So we starting to get kind of a full house here. We got Dr. Lisa from Princeville on here, Mika, Queen, TJ, Dr. Ramona, Sabrina, Chef Joseph, MD, my mother. She's on here for the first time, so she's a newcomer. And then we got LG30. I'm trying to figure out who that is. I see her picture, but I don't hear anything from her. So I don't know if she's froze or what. But anyhow, we're doing good. We got Gabe on here, so we're starting to get a full house here. We're up to 12. We're at 5 hours, so it's about that time to go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for showing up to Legacy Farming and Health Group. Got a few other people who I'm hoping and expecting to be on here that I don't see just yet, but we'll have to get them in where they fit in. So I want to give a quick update as to where we are on a few things. And I want to welcome in all of our new guests, my mother, Elizabeth, who we passionately call MD, and Dr. Lisa from Princeville, North Carolina. And I'm still trying to figure out who LGK30 is up there, but I don't know if she's froze or what the deal is with that one. But
Mr. Greer.
What's that?
Mr. Greer. This is Samantha Farmer. I think that might have been me because I tried to work the Zoom video portion where everybody can see me, and I didn't know what I was doing. And then it said something about just type in the number or something, and now I'm on audio. I tried to do video. So I saw LG something too on my phone when I was trying to do video. That might be me.
Okay. Did you have like I don't know, something that seemed like something on your head or something?
Yes, that was me.
Okay.
That's me.
All right.
Sorry about that. I still don't know how to work that part.
No problem. I just want to make sure that everybody who's on here is recognized and make sure that we get an opportunity to make sure that we hear from everybody. Someone might have something important that they might want to share. And so I'll just trying to make sure that everybody is heard from. Anyhow, TJ, myself, and Quinn were able to go to the NRCS National Convention for their Black employees. Made a lot of great contacts, which I'd hope that there will be a few of them that will be on here. I sent them something and they said that they would be on, but sometimes, you know, we fall behind. And since we're in the rotation of trying to get our information out on time with the correct time, I'm not going to say anything about Quinn up there who put the wrong time in. But everything's good. We will hopefully get everybody in, and they'll come in right on time. But anyhow, we had a great time there. As I was sharing earlier, a young lady from my group in Indianapolis, some of the farmers that we work with, she won an award, so was pretty excited about that. Met a lot of interesting people. One thing that I will say is that from the interaction with the people there at the NRCS conference, they did seem to be very receptive to what we were doing. Quite a few of them gave us their information and said that they were ready and willing to work with us and help out on a few things. So that was very encouraging. So we'll be reaching out to them starting soon, and we'll be able to go from there. So I'm gonna allow Quinn to give his understanding of what he got from the conference, and give TJ a little bit, and then we will open it up to Dr. Lisa from Princeville to introduce herself and tell us about what she's doing, and go from there. So go ahead, Quinn.
All right. Greetings. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Quinn.
Thank you.
Good evening, Quinn. Good evening.
All right. My name is Quinn. I'm from Detroit. I attended the conference in Atlanta, and from my experience was me being from Detroit, Michigan, the north, and going down to Georgia. I heard a lot of conversations about farmers and their experiences. A lot of hardships when it comes to farming. A lot of people talked about having their land taken. Just the struggles of farming and how they've a lot of them have bounced back, but I see a lot of like resilience of a lot of people working hard to maintain, even, you know, of course, progress. I've seen a lot of unity. I experienced just a lot of warm and welcoming people who are doing things such as what we do. You know, it's always great to see something different from what I'm used to seeing. And I mean, it was definitely that. It was just
Thank you for that.
great experience. It was a great experience. I really enjoyed it.
All right. All right.
Great.
TJ?
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
That's
Thank
great.
you.
yeah. So here's my 2 opinions. I think one, it was great to get a chance to meet Quinn and spend some time with him. But 2, there are a couple things that I gathered from the conference. One, can you hear me?
I'm having bad audio from you.
Very bad audio.
Bad audio. I don't know how to fix bad audio.
What's that?
Can you hear me better now or too bad?
I can hear you better now.
All right. So from the conference, there are a couple of core things that I gathered. One, NCRS is a group that we can certainly leverage. There are a lot of grants that are out there that they encouraged us to think about where some of the bigger money is that a lot of organizations aren't considering right now. And so definitely, as John talked about, great contacts out there that I think this group will be able to benefit from in the near term. One of the most interesting things was we met a group of folks from Alabama that actually have a co-op that's formed. And as we continue to look at our structure and how we structure ourselves, they had a very advanced model, I think, of what this group is really looking to become. And so I think it's something that we need to spend some more time with them, pick their brains. They've got dues that they charge. They actually have land that they own as a co-op. And they afford people from the community, as I understand it, even come in and gather things or benefit from the public to come in and gather things and benefit from it as well, at little to no charge to them as well. So they're doing really a lot of neat things from that standpoint. We met people with some of the universities, a gentleman with Florida A&M that are looking at how they can help disadvantaged farmers as well, when they've got programs established, as well as educating young men and women about the value of farming and the opportunity that exists there as well. So it was a great experience all the way around. So I'll leave it at that, Jay.
Okay. So yeah, and as I shared with a few people, that they also had some retirees that are there who are wanting to join us and be counselors. So when we begin to do our workshops with the programs and stuff that we have, we will now also have some of the retirees that we will be able to reach out to that can help walk us through the process of what we're trying to do on the different grants, on the different programs, scholarships and things of that nature, who are very familiar with what's going on, who still, because they just retired, have a lot of connects still in the organization, and they can help us to go through and not have to deal with a lot of the runaround that we've been getting. One thing that I will say that I picked up off of what they said was, one, that they recognize the issues that we got, and that they are themselves, because this was the Black employees, they also recognized the issues that they faced among their own people, or, you know, as being Black employees, they had issues that they faced. And so they were trying to ensure to the others that they had a purpose for being there, how to navigate some of the hardships that they would go through, because of, you know, their purpose was to at least be able to help us out in certain times. So it was a very great conference. I wish I would have had a few more seconds to be able to break it all down. Unfortunately, my wife had surgery on Tuesday, and so I've been at the hospital for the past couple of days. Just got back yesterday, and so just trying to get caught up and trying to help her and deal with her. So just running a little bit behind. But besides all that, everything looks good. I will have a report that I will work out, and I'm gonna be getting with Quinn and TJ to help pick up on the connects that they got and let them be the lead on some of those things that they're seeing, and go from there. So with a little further ado, I'd like to ask just a simple, does anybody have any questions thus far about the conference or anything before we move forward? Okay, so with no questions, I'm gonna lead in with Tamika right now. Tamika, I'm gonna allow her to introduce Dr. Lisa from Princeville, North Carolina. Tamika's been working with her for a while on a special project that the Legacy Farming and Health Group is looking at doing. So Tamika, I'm gonna pass the mic to you and let you take over and give your introduction and your spiel for Dr. Lisa.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So sorry that you guys can't see me right now, but listen, I'm trying to conserve bandwidth, and being on at least via audio is the best that I can do, but I do apologize. I'm Tamika Peoples, founder of Peoples Foundation, and as you know, we do this work concurrently for outreach through the LIFE program with Legacy Farming and Health Group, as well as Agribility, Purdue University. One of the main things that we're asked to do and will be doing as a part of the outreach efforts under this grant is an annual conference. So I just want to touch on a couple of things. The annual conference we will do will happen in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and we are planning to do that in conjunction with our featured host guest here, which is Dr. Lisa Robinson out of Princeville, North Carolina, where she is actually doing a Princeville homecoming. So our annual event, which will take place August 31st through August 1st, with some of the details still being worked out, but we're focusing in on Harris property and land retention for socially disadvantaged farmers, 21st farmer outreach, as well as hemp development within the farming community, high tunnel lessons and training, and aquaponics, which actually encompasses all of the things that our group is really specialized in their individual outreach areas. And so the Princeville Homecoming team is already doing an event in North Carolina that just makes sense to combine and make this a much larger effort so we can actually do some more extensive outreach and what we might call mobile outreach in conjunction with what Dr. Lisa is doing on August 1st, which is more focused on homecoming and revitalization of the Princeville hometown community that's predominantly African American, and it's looking for revitalization and operation things to do in that community. So without further ado, Dr. Lisa, please tell us a bit more about what Princeville Homecoming is going to be doing on August 1st and any other insights that you see that could represent synergies between our team and yours.
Hey, okay, thanks, Tamika. Hi, everybody. Good to talk to you guys. Looking forward to meeting you. First, I'm from New York originally, but I've been living in Rocky Mount, North Carolina since 1993. Princeville is 15 minutes east of Rocky Mount, and it's, if you don't already know, the very first incorporated African-American town in the United States. It's also, as you know, typical was the lowland, the bottomland, and so it's flooded almost 16 times. And a lot of the infrastructure has been lost, a lot of the historical buildings have lost, but the legacy remains. So this began as a nonprofit event for my youth mentor group and has blown into a collaboration between myself, my group, which is Triangle Bike Works, freedom.org, which is spearheaded by the granddaughter of one of the mayors of Princeville, the mayor that was actually there during the biggest flood, the one in 1999. Her freedom.org's mission is to assist traditionally underserved communities to economically develop. It's through power and historical preservation and community engagement. And then another partner is a young man who has a farm, Kendrick Ransom. His LLC is Golden Organic Farm. So when I met these two young people, I got to thinking that instead of just having a fundraiser as a bike ride, I'd already thought to do it as a Black farm tour. But then I got the idea to have it out of Princeville and weave the heritage of this first African-American town, still holding on to its history. And it's despite the fact that, you know, they're doing the usual land grab, devalue and tell people that it's worth nothing and get them to move. The 98% Black population of Princeville and 100% Black leadership of Princeville refuses to move. So to me, that what the young man was talking about, resilience and land grabbing, that just like embodies all of that. And I just got this fire in me to, number one, host the festival, the bike ride out of that, at a festival celebrating Princeville. And then it turned into an opportunity to bring synergy to multiple different avenues. So when Tamika told me about y'all's conference, it's so funny, not funny, it's not even ironic, it's meant to be, that one of our farms is Air Legacy Farm that's been in the family for 200 years. And they recently switched from tobacco to aquaponics. Another family farm is, they just erected a high tunnel. Kendrick's farm, he's a young man, only 26 years old, doing direct-to-consumer farming, agribusiness, agri-athletics, agritourism. So he's partnered with schools to get kids out there. He has a summer camp, he has an athletic program, and he does CSA boxes. And then the fourth farm is a gentleman who reclaimed his farm after his father-in-law had to sell it to a white guy. He got it back. So you've got two farms, aquaponics farm, a high tunnel farm, and a 21st century farmer that wants to get into hemp, all as entities that our riders are going to stop at when they do their bike ride. They're going to do a metric century bike ride stopping at all these farms. So that blends perfectly with the themes of you guys' conference, because the participants can literally visit the farms where the things that they've talked about and learned about in the lecture series on the 31st of July, they can actually see in action on August 1st. The other thing that comes out of this is a 12-week entrepreneurial business boot camp that's going to lead into the festival, and we're going to have three legs: a youth boot camp, business boot camp, a new business owners boot camp, and an established business owners boot camp. And you know, I had mentioned to Tamika, it's free. It would be wonderful if we could get any young farmers in the area that were interested to attend these boot camps at whatever level they are, if they're young people or if they're brand new starting out, or if they've been in business and they want to scale up. And that's being run from the Center for Home Ownership and Economic Development Corporation. So, you know, things continue to evolve. The intent behind this is not just modeling healthy living, healthy diet, exercise, because there's a 5K run and a 10K run along with a 30-mile bike ride and a 66-mile bike ride. But the guerrilla warfare intent is to build collaborative, cooperative business models where we scale each other up by working together on multiple levels. It's already happening.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Lisa. And so to give everyone an idea of just the vastness of this, and one of the things that you mentioned, there was a gentleman who's actually going to be doing a 12-week entrepreneurship course, and this completely blends into some of the end product, right, value-added product enhancements we need to be bringing to as solutions to our farmers, right? Because at the end of the day, a farm is still a business, right? You still have to get your product to a customer, and you have to be able to keep retain customers and get customers. So one of the things that we had talked about with Terrence was, hey, how do we make sure that we can do some of these forums, whether in person, like I said, we do have people close in the region. Gabriel, I hope he's on the phone, as well as Darrell, who does in-product forums as well, that we can maybe roll some of those in leading up to what we're going to be doing on August 31st. Because one, it just makes sense. Sorry,
July
Dr. Lisa, July 31st, sorry. So July 31st, leading into the event, right? Because one of the things we're finding is even some of our new farmers and our current existing farmers are these boutique options to get into the farming career field, right? And being able to experience that, understand that, hear it from those who are already doing it, speak to our high tunnel partners, our aquaponics partners, and understand what the different ways that they can move into this space is really what our young people are thirsting for, because they have heritage property, or they have familiar property that's being passed down to them. They're really trying to figure out what to do with that, and how to get started when they decide what to do. So it just it all made sense, and we're really happy because we all voted at our first annual conference to talk about where we're going to have our event, and we all decided that the Princeville Homecoming Forum was really something we should be working alongside with and doing, and Lisa and her team have been very embracing, and now we're just working on all the details as it evolves to securing where we're going to have the event in Rocky Mount, and then how we're going to fold into the not necessarily bike. We're definitely going to have to get out to each farm in a different way, but it's certainly a way to meld the two events and actually bring something as a collective to our community, which we have an opportunity to do as we work together to build this out. And I will, before I leave the annual conference piece, though, I do want to talk a bit about National AgriBility's annual conference, which we will also be participating in which will be March 23rd through 26th in Madison, Wisconsin. So as our annual events come into fruition, and the locations, the dates, and times, they'll all be able to be found on our website. For right now, it's be housed on peoples-foundation.org. We'll certainly have the event section there, and as we stand up our life program website, we will certainly start to get that announcement and the information out to the teams. So, John, thank you for me going over my 5 minutes, and also Lisa, thank you again, and we will yield the floor for any questions.
Okay, so first, Dr. Lisa.
Yeah.
For the people that we have on, I just want to give you a brief demographic of who all we have on there. We have Dr. Ramona, who's in Mexico. We have Quinn that's in Detroit. Sabrina, where are you at now? I know you're getting ready to move. You threw me off with the moving. Where are you at? Delaware. And I believe Samantha's also in Delaware. We got Ronette on there, who's in Florida.
Samantha's in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, you're in New York. I'm sorry.
Brooklyn, New York.
All right. My bad. New York. You can tell by that accent she's from New York, the way she said that.
Yes, sir.
We got Chef Joseph, who's in Virginia. Gabriel, who's in Atlanta, and Tamika, who's in California. We have a few others that are normally on here that I'm kind of surprised aren't on here, but I'm just letting you know that right now we got people from all over the country that are on here.
That's fabulous.
So if you could, give us a contact, a way to be able to contact you, just in case anybody would like to contact you or anything. And I'm gonna ask Quinn to type that into the chat for me. So, and we can go from there. So if you would give us some contact information, that if anybody wanted to contact you and get information on the Princeville homecoming,
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the website is princevillehomecoming.com, all one word. The Facebook page is Princeville Homecoming, and you can get to the Facebook and the Twitter and everything from the actual website. My personal phone number, which you're all welcome to have and use freely with whatever comes to mind, is 252-801-5444. And my email is L as in Lisa, NELROB, because my full name is Lisa Nelson Robinson. So you may hear some people call me Lisa Nelson, some people call me Lisa Robinson, some people call me Nell Rob, but it's lnellrob@yahoo.com. And if I could just say, we are promoting this thing. I mean, cyclists are a crazy breed. I don't know if any of y'all are cyclists, but long distance cyclists will travel, cross country to ride 100 miles in 100-degree weather.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a cuckoo thing. I was telling Tamika in terms of draw and exposure, as an example, the Seagull Century out of Salisbury, Maryland, is a fundraiser for Salisbury University. It has turned into a destination ride for all the Black cycling groups across the country. It used to be just the East Coast guys, but then it just became all the Black cycling groups. I mean, you'll have people from Houston, California, Texas, whatever, coming to do this 100-mile bike ride. It's not just Black riders, obviously, but the whole ride attracts 12,000 riders. And so our goal is to build Princeville to be the destination for every Black cycling team on the daggone planet, never mind just in America. Because, I mean, I've gone to Jamaica to ride, so people come overseas to ride in the States. It's just cyclists. And so, but these people are also people of means, education, money, business, entrepreneurship, engineers, all sorts of things. And that's why I said the underpinning of this is that movement to get people together in a space that is built on collaboration between Black folks, just like Princeville was built on collaboration between Black folks, and then just kind of belie that narrative that we don't work together, which we all know is a bunch of garbage, and then start working together and building something that, is self-determined. So, food and nourishment is the basis of everything, and land is the basis of wealth. So what you guys are doing is like key to what we want to do. I mean, it's the same thing. You can't build what I want to build without farmers. If we can't feed ourselves and control our water sources, especially in this era of climate change, we're done. So you understanding what you're doing and exposing, people that may not get how important this is, people who think it's not a big deal to support a Black farmer but spend $10,000 on a bike, letting them understand how to think bigger. To me, that's my biggest thing is think bigger, think beyond, tomorrow, and, individually and as a community. So, yeah, I'm sorry. It took another 5 minutes, but I get it.
No, Lisa, we appreciate you. Everyone on here, we're family, and we're just as passionate. This is why you're in this space with us, Queen. So we appreciate that. John?
Yeah, most definitely. So I'm gonna open it up right now, and we'll go around and have everybody introduce themselves and ask the question to Dr. Lisa. So we're gonna start all the way from Mexico itself, Dr. Ramona.
Hi, my name is Ramona Ross. I lived I came from California back here to Mexico, where I am from, and the reason for that is that I practice medicine here in Mexico, and I can do more stuff than I can do in the U.S. In the U.S., I have my hands tied in the sense that I cannot deliver some therapies that I really like, that I find efficient or effective in making people better. So over here, I like that system in the sense that I have legally, I can practice different therapies as along with the orthodox conventional medicine, which is the one in which I'm trained. I'm also study homeopathy, and I can also practice it here in Mexico as well. In the U.S., my background is in environmental studies as well, so I understand what Dr. Lisa said about the environment. I'm trained at UCSB in environmental studies, and so my goal at this time is to be able to do my own product. I'm gonna work together along with brother Jerry, who has land and he's growing. He has some crops, and we're gonna come up with some products with our own items to be able to produce and sell. At least that's our goal for next year.
Mm.
Do you have a question
Ramona,
for Dr. Lisa? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Any questions for Dr. Lisa? Dr. Robbins?
No, that's that I commend her for what she's doing, and I agree. I understand what she says about the part of you have to be a landowner in order to be able to do something, to make to have control of the present and the future, in the sense that that everything comes from land. If we don't have good soil, we don't have. Our lives are doomed, because good food, good health comes from good food, and good food comes from good land.
That's right.
And there's no shortcut around that. There's no way that we can grow like an apple on a petri dish, for example, and be able to have a life, a sustainable life, or whatever you call it, out of that food. So we have to go back and be able to be self-sufficient and don't depend on the external forces that are manipulating us to eat, to meet our basic needs. And those are.
Dr. Ramona, do you do herbal medicine?
Yes, I do, Dr. Lisa.
The reason I ask is one of our farms, the farm with the high tunnel, the wife does herbal medicine, and she grows her own herbs. So I don't know if that's a segment that you all going to want to cover more, with people getting more and more disgusted with Western medicine. And I'm a surgeon, so you don't have to feel any kind of way about criticizing Western medicine, because I'm criticizing it, and I've been living it my whole life. But that herbal medicine is another growing 21st century component. So I didn't know if Tamika had thought about putting in a lecture on that. But Eunice Hill of Hill Farms, the one with the high tunnel, she is a herbalist and does herbal medicine. She's got a degree in herbal medicine and so forth. So
Great
to know. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that might be something we might get her and Dr. Ramona to collaborate on.
Yeah, so we can learn from each other and exchange ideas as far as how to produce the product, how to do the extract. What I need to somebody to do the chemistry, the lab part, because I'm not familiar how to extract the substance, that how to convert a leaf to a pill. Because sometimes it's hard to deliver like something fresh to sell it. Unless you're here. If you come here, then I prepare you something, a tea or a beverage. But if I wanna reach further, I had to prepare a syrup or a pill or something, a product like that, and I don't have experience on that in manufacturing, and everything that is manufactured has to meet all the legal health and safety requirements from the government.
Well, if you have my number, if you want me to connect you with her, I'd be happy to. And her background, she's from Puerto Rico. So,
oh wow, that's neat.
That's fellow Latina, so you will have a lot to talk about, and she would love to talk to a fellow practitioner, I'm sure.
Oh, great. Yes, definitely. I will be. I will reach her. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just text me and I'll set it up.
Okay. Okay, Dr. Lisa. Very nice.
All right, we're gonna go with Samantha next from New York.
Thank you. Dr. Lisa, thank you for your presentation. Just want to share with you and the rest of the group that I'm feeling very kindergarten in all of this, and I need to get to primary school, middle school, high school, college level to be where it seems like most of the people here might already be in terms of the farming sector, the farming science, the farming in general, and all of that. But my personal goals is I want to acquire some land. I want to learn some farming tools and techniques. I would like to collaborate with other people. If not hands-on, even economically, if I know that there's people that's willing to put in talent, monies, expertise to help get something done, I want to be part of that. If I can't do it hands-on, I want to contribute to the farming sector. And my overall or ultimate goal is really to gain as much as I can here and take it to the motherland and help some of, like, Africa is huge, enormous. It has a lot of land potential. And if I can do some work there, that's the ultimate. But I'm also in the 50 club. I have some health challenges going on. I got medicines I have to take every day for the rest of my life. So when I hear Dr. Ramona talking about holistic or conventional medical therapies, maybe on the side I need to talk with her and let her know what's going on with me and if she can know anything about that, because the bottom line is I feel like I'm not as healthy to do what I want to do at my age now, or just do it, whatever frailties might be going on with me. And if I can just stay healthy and keep it pushing until I can no longer keep it pushing, that's my goal. And that's all I have to say.
All right. Well, Dr. Ramona, if you would type into the chat your contact information so that Samantha can be able to get in contact with you.
Yes, sure. She can call me anytime. I will put both numbers, my U.S. number and my Mexican number. You just have to dial some international code, and I will put all the numbers that she needs to dial in order to reach me over here.
Thank you.
All right. Go ahead, Dr.
There's a gentleman that that has been collaborating with through all of this, that's in Brooklyn. He's not a farmer. Are you in Bed-Stuy?
I'm in Brownsville, next door to Bed-Stuy.
Have you ever heard of a place called Cafe L'Ouverture?
No, I haven't.
Well, if you Google it, it's on Bed-Stuy right off of Marcus Garvey. That gentleman, his wife is Haitian, and you talk about getting back to Africa, but they own a 100+ acre farm in Haiti. And and I don't know what your personal situation is or your mobile situation is, or if it's something that you could do maybe just on a summer, just to get your fingers in the dirt. But you might want to talk to him. His name is Anthony. His wife's name is Joanne. And if you go to Cafe La Overture and just tell them that Lisa from Rocky Mount mentioned them to you, they'll know exactly who I am.
Okay, I'll definitely look into that.
Yeah, and you never know what might occur. You never know what might pop up. But I know they have a family farm that's huge down in Haiti. And actually, Anthony's been going back because he wants to source a lot of the stuff that he uses in his cafe from that land. So I'm not sure how much of it is working, but some of it's working.
All right.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna definitely look into that, Dr. Lisa. Thank you.
I'm gonna go to TJ next in Florida.
Yeah, so no major questions. I just want to make sure I understand with respect to this Princeville thing, Dr. Lisa. You said they were impacted by the floods. I'm assuming that's the floods of Katrina.
Oh no. We're East Coast, so Katrina didn't hit us. Since I've been here, Princeville got flooded by Floyd back in the 90s. And then in 2015, I think it was Matthew.
Okay.
And then there was yet another one 2 years ago.
And so how big is the city?
It's not even a city, it's a town. And literally, there's homes left, but the business infrastructure is basically gone. There's one store that's been there, the oldest living member of citizen in Princeville. He's 101. It's his store. In terms of historical buildings, the very first church built by Black folks is still standing. A lot of the original businesses is gone. The levee needs to be extended in order to prevent future flooding. The Corps of Engineers has already got the plans. In fact, the money had been appropriated by Clinton in the 90s when the flood damn near wiped out the whole town and Princeville came into national consciousness again. But then 9/11 happened and then nobody gave a damn on about Princeville. So they've been fighting ever since. And what's happened is the typical, just like they did Hilton Head and Amelia Island and Mitchellville and all of this, they keep telling the folks, well, just give up and move. Nobody's gonna, nobody's coming. Nobody's gonna build anything. Just give up and move. Of course, as soon as they move, they will extend the levee and they will have riverfront property. There's a design plan to excavate the lowest portion of the land and turn it into a lake. So they would have lakefront and riverfront property. They're just waiting. But luckily, the people in Princeville are stubborn and tenacious, and they know this game plan, and they don't want any parts of it. My goal is to bring multiple of these festivals building over the course of 4 or 5 years so that we can then get the political will, because politics always follows the money, to build out the levee and institute this plan while the people that are from Princeville are still there and can direct how things go. And what they want, and what I had come up with this, and the town had come up with it individually, so it makes perfect sense. Build out a heritage town around the lake. But my concept was we build all the different Black Wall Streets. You have a section that looks like Tulsa, a section that looks like Harlem at the Renaissance, Sweet Auburn, the Black Western towns. You have the Buffalo Soldiers, just the same way they have Jamestown and Williamsburg. We would have a living replica with historic reenactors of all the things that we built in this country, instead of always having historical tourism centered around slavery, suffering, degradation, the civil rights movement, everything that we had to endure. I want someplace that celebrates what we did. Because that narrative, when you focus on that narrative, it just brings more of that. Whatever you focus on, you get more of. So they constantly having us looking at slave films and constantly having us looking at suffering. And then that's all, you get to the point where you're a deer in headlights, all you can talk about, as opposed to moving forward. And so the town came up with the historic, you know, kind of recreating what Princeville was. So I was like, no, go bigger, think bigger. Think about everything. Think about, you have people coming in, and it's right off of I-95. It's midway between New York and Florida. It's 3 hours from DC. It's an hour from an international airport. It's on the route that goes directly from the mountains to the beach. It's at the center of 7 historic trails: Civil Rights Trail, African American Music Trail, the Albemarle Trail, the Tar River Trail, the Freedom Trail, the Underground Railroad Trail. And Rocky Mount, which is 15 minutes away, does have the infrastructure to support a conference and everything you need. And you can still feed off of the heritage of Princeville while housing your people. We got tons of hotel rooms, a big event center, convention center. I've sent the video to Tamika. She can share them with you so you can see where the conference would be housed. Black-owned businesses popping up in downtown. And our event will start Friday evening when you guys are finishing up your lecture series. Our people will be coming in, registering, and so forth. We're going to have a bar crawl, speed networking, a meetup, possibly a play, possibly a comedy show, some spoken word. Saturday morning, everybody gets up, they do their 5K run, their 10K run, they do their bike ride, they get back to the Heritage Park, which is right on the river. We have a DJ, band, black pitmasters, brewers, 2 black brewers. The first black woman brewer in the whole United States is my business partner, Celeste Beatty. She's out of Harlem. She's going to be there. 2 black-owned wineries, vendors. It's going to be lit.
And so let me actually, too, Dr. Lisa, if I may, just pull this back to some of the things that we talked about as a group and why we're doing this work that we're doing, right? So when we talk about rebuilding towns and revitalization and finding the money to do what we need to do, right? At some point, we can't wait on other people, right? We know that there are opportunities with NIF rural funding, USDA rural funding, and if we had a collective of people, envision this, because the collective of people is on this phone, right? But let's say we had a collective of people that are already talking about rebuilding this town, right? Let's say maybe they're sitting on the city council. They're already business people in the area, and we have collectively talked to them and worked with them and identified where potentially that money can come from. We're talking about Opportunity 360 money. We're talking about USDA Rural Development money for centers and hubs and regions that they say they want to revitalize. And we're already talking to those business partners, working with those business partners, and we have a structure by which to go get the funds and work with our people to rebuild these communities, right? This is what most groups do, okay? They have business people, they have people in policy, and they have other individuals who know how to get the money, and then they all just work together and build up stuff. So we don't have to sit around and wait to recreate something. We've already created it. We all we need. So, and Dr. Lisa, the reason why I injected there is because there's been many meetings between our teammates discussing the idea of, you know, what do we target next? Who do we work with next? What other people do we bring into the folds of the work we're doing? And so these are the conversations that we absolutely want to have, we are having, and we'll have another kind of a strategic planning call to identify those and then just move forward. But step one would be to execute the homecoming annual event not to perfection, but to attention, right? Because we want to show it can be done. 2, we're going to execute it. 3, it's going to create a draw. So we have a group of organizations who came together to create this thing in this community, and we're going to keep recreating those things. So thank you for that, Lisa. Thank you.
Well said, Dr. Lisa and Tamika people.
All right. Go ahead.
Florida. You tell me a little about you. What's your background?
Well, my name's TJ. I'm John's brother. At the end of the day,
We're having bad audio from you, TJ.
You still got a problem?
Yeah, it's kind of muffled. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I don't know what's going on. I think I may have a driver issue or something on my computer.
Better though.
Go for it.
Okay. So just a quick skinny, business person, 20 plus years in human resources. I worked through brokerage firms and through the healthcare industry from that standpoint. That's a short and skinny of my background.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna see if we can catch up with Elizabeth J, who's a first-time person on our thing. But I don't know if she hears me.
I hear you.
All right, there she is.
I know that. Yeah, I hear you. I am the mother of the young man who's hosting this conference call, and the other young gentleman that just spoke with you, TJ and John. I am retired and have many interests still. So that's why I'm on today, to see what everybody is doing and where I can fit in.
Any questions?
Okay.
Not at the moment. I've got my wheels are turning in my head, but I have to formulate them.
All right.
It's most interesting.
If anybody goes to sleep or meditates tonight and wakes up with a brilliant idea or any idea, please, the way things have been happening, it's just crazy. And everything that has happened has scaled this thing up. Like, just a quick background, because I don't want to drag on, but the way I met Tamika was over Instagram, reaching out to a cotton farmer whose farm I was planning on making one of the farm stops. I had met Julius Tillery of Black Cotton years ago when he was just like barely just starting out with his Black Cotton line. And I bought a bouquet from him. And I always remembered him, and I was like, this is a dope, Black cotton is our culture. That's a powerful piece of statement. That's a self-determined piece of statement. And so I wanted to, make the ride part of his farm part of the ride, but he didn't get back up with me. But then I saw Seed to Shirt kept popping up with Black Cotton. So I said, well, maybe that's somebody who's working with Julius. Let me reach out to them. So Nika hits me that. And she gives me this whole concept of her going into cotton manufacturing. And I just thought to myself, what's the chances of me reaching out to somebody and then they've got the operations program to start? You could literally be at this festival and I could tell you that the shirt on your back that you got in your little swag bag after you did your run, because we always give out t-shirts, was grown on a 5th generation cotton farm, ginned in the last cotton gin owned by a Black person, manufactured by the first Black woman cotton manufacturer, and sewn by Black women who learned how to become seamstresses because they were imprisoned in this crazy society. And then my publicist was a textile major and does clothing design. So you talk about vertical integration from the daggone soil to your back. That's how this thing has moved. So whatever idea you come up with, please remember my number and text me, because it's going to lead to something.
Oh, yeah. That's part of what we tell everybody. Dare to dream, and don't let my dreams be your limit. Go beyond what I come up with.
Right. Exactly. Let's scale each other up.
That's right. So I'm gonna jump to Quinn in Detroit.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Quinn from Detroit. First, I like to say it's an honor. It's an honor to have everyone here, and especially Miss Elizabeth J. I thank you for having the two brothers, John and TJ. Wonderful young men there. Okay, so my name is Quinn. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I grow cannabis from soil. I can grow from seed. I also use clones. And if anybody have any questions concerning cannabis and what I do, let me know. Thank you. Oh, and my question, I do have a question for Dr. Lisa. Dr. Lisa, I would like to, can you confirm the date of the conference? What is the date of the conference? For the festival?
The festival is August 1st. The conference is July 31st and August 1st.
July 31st through August 1st.
Yes. Friday and Saturday.
That's
Friday.
correct. And Quinn, we'll, yes, Friday and Saturday, and we'll talk in a bit more detail in our board meeting about the layout of our conference. But yes, sir, the 31st and the 1st.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. That's all I have.
All right. And we got Ronette in Florida.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you? I'm Ronette. I do websites. I design apps and websites. And I'm also, so what I'm doing is a grocery store app right now that is to go throughout the United States and throughout any part of the world. So we ship internationally and all of that type of stuff. And I was talking to some of the farmers last time about joining together because we do have a need for the farmers. And I still need the information because we're getting closer to shipping internationally. And what did I say? They told me that they need 90%, 95% of their produce is shipped. So they don't really have much land to ship, to produce their own. So they need everything. That's what they told me. They did have a epidemic last week with lettuce that came out of California. So they had to pull everything off the shelf. So they definitely need you guys on board for sure.
So tell her what islands you're talking about.
I'm from Bermuda.
Okay.
We're dealing with Haiti. We're dealing with all the Bahamas. We're trying to get Africa, England.
Wow.
So anywhere. We're also going throughout the United States. And when we do the throughout the United States, we were doing it this Thanksgiving. We were in Jacksonville, and it was really a lot. We did really good. We had our farmer on board, and he was, he had us busy. Well, they had us busy because we had to get stuff throughout. It was good. So there is a need for the farmers, definitely. That much I can say, and they are looking to use you guys. That much I do know. They did mention that. So I think the grocery store that I was talking about, there's 2 grocery stores now that we were dealing with. There's one that the guy hasn't contacted me yet, but he is interested. So what was I gonna say? So yeah, they do need everything shipped, and so I need to get as much information from you guys as possible so that I could put it on the website so that when it's time for these things to be shipped, we could get things sorted out that way.
If you would, Ronette, put your information in the chat again so that
Okay.
everybody will be able to contact you.
Yeah, and if I could contact them too, because I know about that, them contacting me. Sometimes people get busy, but even though I'm busy, I'll make the time to contact them because we do need the information so that I could be able to know what I could ship, what could be ordered, what couldn't be ordered, and things along that line.
Okay. Did you have a question for Dr. Lisa?
Oh, and I know that last time the guys were, John, you mentioned to me that they were wondering if the product, because we want to get, we're also trying to help people to be employed too, so that there's part of it, so that like the individual shoppers that will be they're independently trying to do the shopping thing. But if they are in your area, they will, if an order comes through in that area, they are the ones that will go to the farmer to collect the produce or things along that line, not having it shipped, not one item shipped to one different place. When it's being shipped, it's got to be shipped in bulk. So
Right.
that will go overseas.
All right, Dr. Lisa, you got any questions for Ronette?
Let me ask you something. No, I guess I need to understand better how this would work. So you're gonna the individual farmers from everywhere that you mentioned.
Okay, like there's two things that I'm requiring from the individual farmers. If they are in wherever they live, we'll have it's two things. If we have an order for right now, let's tell you what's going on now, just about Bermuda, because that's the only one that I know about right now. I am investigating the other stuff, but right now for Bermuda, if they need produce, they right now get it from farmers in the United States. But they're not these guys, so they don't mind opening the door to these guys, because the ones that they have, they're producing things that are, I don't know what's going on, but it's not being produced to be all, healthy. So that bulk of food, that bulk of produce will be shipped to Bermuda. Okay, because everything that Bermuda's enough to do all the produce that is needed for, for the living. So
So you provide a platform for the orders to be communicated, right?
Yes. So that's on the website, and that's also going to be on the app.
Okay, so it's basically an app to connect farmer to buyer.
Yes.
Well,
It's a total grocery store. It's a total grocery store.
Yeah.
But we're the grocery store. We're cutting out the going to the grocery store. Let's say that I have an order comes through for me, and I have to go to a grocery store to obviously buy this stuff. Instead of me getting the produce from the grocery store, I'll go to the farmer, the local farmer, unless they do not have it. If they do not have it, then we'll get it in the grocery store. If that's the only thing. That's in my area. Now, when it comes to being shipped international, it's automatically, hopefully, we could get it for all the farmers to come together and we could get it shipped there.
Gotcha. Okay. And
on
so
your platform,
is the app up and running already?
The app is almost up. I should have 90% of it is going to be done tomorrow. And the website is up. The website is up and running. We've been using that this week, this last holiday.
What's the name of the website?
Island Cart. I'm going to put that on the chat also.
Okay.
Yeah, but she's on the phone. But Dr. Lisa, we'll send you a copy of all the information that's in the chat so that you'll be able to connect with those that are on there. And we'll send that to everyone that is on here.
Okay.
So we'll make sure that we got it. So the next person we're going to go to is a young brother that we met in Atlanta this past weekend. He took me and Quinn and TJ out to a place to get some well, he said catfish and grits, but they didn't have the catfish. So I'm gonna allow him to introduce himself and tell about what he does. And that's for Jock Webb. How you doing, bro?
Hey, this is Jock from Alabama. I am also accompanied by the state coordinator of the Alabama State Association, and she's also the interim director here at the Federation of Southern Cooperative, Ms. Pamela Matzema. Ronette Lounge, just to answer your question, she's also from, personally, she's from Zimbabwe, dealing with your African connection. But just to say that, we are everything Black Belt Farmers. We are a rural research and training center. We are collectively 1,250 acres of incredible prime real estate for farming, fishing, hunting, whatever it is that you want to do, quail. I've seen mallard ducks and wild turkeys, deer, wild hog. This prime real estate, pretty much untouched. And I don't have anything against anyone, but this is all Black owned and operated for 53 years plus. We are looking to extend our reaches as far as we can. We want to help those who are in need of our assistance and help. I'm hoping Miss Pamela Matzema gets on and say something. I know she's trying to do a little paperwork, but she and I both been listening. I got our time mixed up. I wasn't thinking Eastern Standard Time, and we're at Central Standard Time. We've also been in meetings and whatnot all afternoon and evening. But we glad to have invited to, I'll use this term, Zoom in with you and the Jamersons and Quinn. Oh my goodness, what a great, just incredible meeting, just a wonderful breaking bread kind of thing. And that restaurant, yes, they have delicious food. But anyway, we are here and listening, and hopefully, just listening. I'm going to throw everybody under the bus. I see the possibility of maybe a meeting of some sort somewhere in the future on this location. So just saying. Anyway, thank you.
Okay, could I say something about that? Sounds great. You said you got all that wildlife and stuff, and so that's something that they also need to bring in, at least to Bermuda. I can speak on Bermuda's behalf. So that could be something that I could introduce, let them know that's available, if you don't mind. Hello?
Himself. I don't know if he's talking.
Are you referring to me?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Say that one more time. I'm so sorry.
I said you had that wildlife that you were mentioning that you and the catching that you do. I said that would be something that I would like to introduce to them, to let them have more options, because like I said, majority of everything is imported. So that would be something that how do you catch? Well, we could go over how you catch them and stuff like that later.
Well, I'm sure if I say anything wrong, Miss Matzema is going to correct me. She's quick about that, and that's a good thing. But we are really interested in strengthening what we do and diversifying and from several different angles. Yes, I'm sure we can set up a forum of a sort to make that happen. Absolutely. We've had visitors literally from all over the world, Virgin Islands, and our people extend down to Cuba and places like that. I think Senegal, just different areas. If someone, I mean, I'm just saying, we're here. We've been here. We're going to be here, and we're reaching as far as people need help and assistance. We have strong resources and partners with several of the colleges and universities around the Southeast, Tuskegee, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Auburn University, so forth and so on. But we are here, so whatever we can do, if it's in our power.
Okay.
I think that would be something that might be great for Dr. Lisa and the people in Princeville, to perhaps be able to come down there to see, what you guys have done, and see how that might be able to benefit them where they're at. As we said, there's no sense in trying to reinvent the wheel. If there's something out there that's working, go out there and check it out and tweak it to your advantage. Dr. Lisa?
How are you set up? Are you set up as a retreat center, as a wilderness camp, is it a town where, I mean, what exactly besides the wide open space do you have that brings people in? Do people come to hunt or, you know, commune with nature? Well, what's the setup?
Hello, everyone. This is Pamela Mazima. I'm here with Jock Webb, and I work with him at the Federation. So he just kind of asked me to help him answer that. So we have a rural training and research center where we have demonstration farms. We have aquaponics demonstrations, hoop house demonstrations for farming. We have an agroforestry center where we're teaching small limited resource farmers how to raise livestock in forested areas. We also demonstrate longleaf pine plantations, which are native to this area. So just various demonstrations for landowners and people that are interested in organizing small businesses, cooperatives, and those type of things. And then we also have a dormitory facility that can sleep. We have about 18 rooms, so we sleep about 36 adults in our facility. And then a training auditorium where we host workshops and different things.
Nice. And do you have are you on Facebook, Instagram? What's your social media handle?
Currently, I don't have an active social media handle, but if you visit our website, I will let Mr. Webb share it with the others, and then he can get it out to you. Our website of the Federation is www.federation.coop, but I'll try to get the link to the host, and then we're located in Epps, Alabama, so you'll be able to find our location through that website.
Okay. The Federation of Southern Cooperatives, I see you. Okay, nice. Yeah, I mean, this is cool.
Go ahead, Dr. Lisa.
No, I was going to say this is beautiful, and what's great about this is, you know, it's a great, like you said, it's a great model, but it's a different concept. But it's a great model to build a different concept out of Princeville, because Princeville would be about incubating Black businesses, agriculture being one of them. But it's like the model I use is it's like the nursery, and you plant the seedlings and then they just spread out all over the world. And so, you know, I remember one time I went to some meeting, and a young woman was making the argument that we need to collaborate and have a seat at their table and so forth. And I'm like, that's not worked in the last 400 years. It's a waste of time. Well, and then her comment was, well, every time we build something, they just burn it down. But when you do what you're doing, you're planting all these seeds, so the knowledge that you have put into everybody that comes through there goes out, and you just can't get rid of all of that knowledge. So yeah, this is great. I will have to share this with my team. Thank you.
All right.
If I may say, you know, I'm a 60s baby. I was born in 62. When I went to school, that school had been, just to share your conversation, had been burned down several times by people that didn't want us in that community. Okay, before they finally donated some property in the community and built the school from the stone that they took out of that mountain to build it out of sandstone. The walls are like 3 feet thick. Tornadoes and everything else have gone through, and the building stands to this day. Now, with that said, yes, we literally plant the seeds. We have an aquaponics house that I can grow from the seed to the seedlings in 2 weeks or less, up to 40,000 plants. We are intending to, as you say, replant the world if we can, one plant at a time here. We also have a raised bed house. Everything farming, that's where we are and are trying to go. That's where we are.
Yeah,
great.
All right.
John, I have one question for you.
Go ahead.
If I could. You mentioned about what did you say? The shipping international and training the farmers. Remember we did that on the site. Yeah, because we need to get some information for that also. So I'll reach out to you later.
Okay.
That's better.
So can I add just a bit there? We are inviting the Western Association and the Eastern Association of International Shipping, which really focuses on end products, produce products predominance for export markets for U.S. agriculture farmers. So they will be part of our annual conference, and that is certainly something we can further share with the team even prior to that conference. And it's certainly focused on one of our areas. So definitely please share your information in the chat. I'm not in the chat, but I will get information from the chat from our brother Quinn, and we will definitely follow up. So just so you know, right, we most of our produce, the big time farmers, they're exporting it. They've been exporting it for many years. That's what the heavy focus on this trade war and kind of standing down and these agreements that we have with international organizations to do this. So very rarely, however, do you see, we're going to call it socially disadvantaged farmers, but let's just call it black farmers, let's call it what it is, participating in these markets. And so that is the purpose of our 21st Century Models of Farming forum that we will be having at our annual event. But we'll absolutely be sharing that information, and thank you for the question.
All right. We got 3 more to go, and that would be Sabrina, then we'll go Chef Joseph, and we'll end with Gabriel. So Sabrina?
Hello, my name is Sabrina Frenchy. I am originally from Texas, and I am moving to Delaware. I would like to just ask these questions first so I won't forget. I noticed some people kept mentioning high tunnel farming. What is that?
High tunnel farming is farming where you you get the metal roofs and you put on there, and it has a plastic cover, kind of like a greenhouse, except it's got the plastic over it, and you most of the time you do it outside. I'll let somebody else say something. I'm gonna see if I can pull up a picture of ones that we've done. So go ahead.
I know there was mentioning there was maybe a convention going on March the 23rd through the 26th in Milwaukee.
Okay.
And what kind of convention was that?
That was the agribility.
Convention. And for anybody, agribility. Hold on, we got a lot of backup noise, so I'm gonna mute a few folks right quick. And but that was the agribility. If anybody is interested in that, we do have an opportunity for people to be able to go and be able to get portions of their stuff paid for. That is part of our grant that we're doing with agribility and Purdue Extension. And so they have set aside special money. So if anybody wants to be able to go to that and have a great portion, if not all of their stuff, I can't say how much they'll pay for. We got X amount set aside, but if you want to go to that, they will be able to take care of your room and board at least, and be able to get you in that. Agribility is something that is very important, especially as we get older. For those of us, such as myself, who've gotten injured before in life, in this profession, being in agribility, one of the things that you can least afford to have happen to you is to get injured and to fall on bad health, because that can be devastating to your business and your business profile. So it's like a fire drill to me. It's something that you hope never happens, but it's best to know what to do and where to go when that does take place. And for those of us who are already in those positions and may be old and not able to do things, because that's what a lot of the elder farmers, what their issues are, they can go to agribility, and agribility basically comes out and assesses them and does things that will help them to be able to continue in the agriculture. So if anybody's interested, I'm gonna have Quinn put his information up there so that you guys can be able to get it and contact Quinn, and we will get you an application out, and you can put in for it and be able to go to it if anybody's interested. So Quinn, put your email or phone number information, whatever you want to put in for people to contact you, and we'll go from that. And let's see, who do we have after that? We had. Go ahead.
Again, my name is Sabrina. I'm from Texas. I do, you know, I am like a babe. I'm like Mother Samantha. I'm a beginner, just like her. But I do want to start farming. Hopefully going international into Africa. I know my next visit, Mother Samantha is gonna try to go with me. Hopefully, maybe some of you guys can join in. Going to Gambia. I was saying last time there was a lot of opportunities there. They don't have a lot of the production equipment to even produce even their mangoes. They just fall off the ground. So we had talked about that before. I know I was interested even trying to get some land out there in Wilmington. I know they have a lot of like, empty homes, but I have a question. Have anyone known for people to take rundown homes and turn those into like farming homes or agriculture homes?
I can't say I have right offhand. I don't know about anybody else.
No, nobody. Okay.
You can't do it. Go ahead.
Yeah, plus you have to look at the zoning, dealing with how the position of the zoning of that property may come to play.
Okay. I know the land, you have to get permission for the people in the neighborhood, and you have to go to the board.
Yeah,
and
the
then they go
zoning.
from there. Yeah. So I don't know how they would do with the buildings. I guess maybe that's something that you would, I guess, sort of pitch to them to see what they would do from there.
Well, first of all, to save yourself a lot of time, you will want to go down to your local city hall, and you want to find out what district what is it zoned for, this particular area. If it's not zoned, I think it's B1 or business zone, or if it's not zoned correctly, then yes, you would have to get a petition, and then if you're talking agriculture in the city, depending on how close other houses are to it, that'll be a process. I think the zoning fee to zone, for them to have a hearing, is anywhere between, I thought it was between $300 and maybe $500 here in Virginia. So that is one of the things you're going to be faced with. So just save yourself some time, check to see the zoning, like what is this house zoned for? Is it business, agriculture, whatever? But I'll tell you now, in most cases, if it isn't residential,
it's residential.
Yeah, you might want to check because it could. I mean, I'm a very optimistic man, but it could. You would just have to get votes of the people around you. I'll just say it that way.
Right, because all the land is next to homes, so all the land is residential also.
Okay. Yeah, just check on your zoning.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Darrell, since you took over, you might as well go on and ask your question.
Okay, Dr. Lisa, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. So as you start speaking, you start hitting on a lot of cylinders, and so I remember traveling down to Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and it's been years ago when I just seen it was like just the desolation and things. It was like wow, a lot of things you were saying. I actually seen it with my own eyes. At the time, I was a younger entrepreneur. I considered coming down, opening up a business there, but for some reason I didn't. I don't think we got around to it. A lot of things you're saying, the entrepreneur thing is really big. My name is Darrell. I'm the CEO of Chef Joseph's Original Chicago Style Kick Sauce, and I'm actually manufacture hot sauce, seasonings, and ginger drinks here in Virginia Beach. And the products are phenomenal. So dealing with ginger and alkaline. And basically, my story was I was a successful entrepreneur back at home, and then I moved to Virginia Beach. And I actually was homeless for about 3 years, just to build my business. And so now we've been caught steam, government contracts, all kind of stuff. And one of the things that happened, my specialty, and I don't like to use my But when you were talking about the kids and the entrepreneurial things, it was just like right up some of the things that that our group is already talking about. You know, with John and Tamika, et cetera, our team. But basically, people would come when they would try my products. They were like, "These are really good. How did you do it?" So that basically prompted me to basically start doing seminars and workshops. Basically, you know, there are 4 platforms that I've created on PowerPoint presentations. There are the Chef Joseph's recipe development seminars, developing recipes God's way, which I'm teaching basically people the step-by-step process of basically recipe development. So you talking about that pie, why don't you put that pie to market? This is how you do it. The Chef Joseph's Kidpreneurs, the Chef Joseph's Entrepreneur Boot Camp. So those are, and the Chef Joseph's Ginger and Alkaline 10.4. So that's dealing with health, ginger, and raising your pH in the body. So those, and I'm keeping it real short, but that can be found on my website. But basically, that's what I do. I'm a recipe development specialist, and at this point, I'm all about ownership and teaching people, you know, how to develop their recipes and take it to the market so they can sustain generational wealth to their children's children, like the scripture says. Thank you.
You have any questions?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I do have questions. So, how is, you know, first of all, I want to commend you, you know, on what you're doing with the Rocky Mount area, correct? Rocky Mount.
Right.
Yeah, I've definitely. Yeah, that is very, very commendable what you're doing there. How, one of the questions I have is, how are the people receptive? I know when I went years ago, it's just really kind of like a low vibration area. But I mean, that's just what I've not knocking the area, just kind of what I experienced. How are they receptive to this change that you're doing for the better there?
It's so funny what you're saying because about 10 years ago when I was making my 10-year plan and retiring and looked into like franchising and so forth, and somebody said, well, you're going to stay in Rocky Mount? And excuse anybody, but my French was, hell no. Are you kidding? It's so dead down here. There ain't no way in hell I would stay down here. So I understand exactly what you're saying. However, you know, I mean, having seen Harlem transform in front of my eyes, having seen Bed-Stuy transform in front of my eyes, and I grew up in the Bronx, and now they're doing this same playbook in the Bronx. And then, you know, taking these kids on these historical tours and realizing, you know, kind of vaguely, but seeing how literally this playbook has played out over and over and over again in this country, where our spaces are devalued to the point where we devalue our spaces, is low energy, is dead, is the hood, is ghetto, ain't nobody want to live there, we got to get out of there. And they just lay back and wait until we give up on ourselves and our neighborhoods and our communities, and they swoop in, and all of a sudden, one Becky moves in, and now everything has changed. And I just got furious. I mean, I got furious. And so it's already starting in Rocky Mount. Capital Broadcasting bought an old abandoned mill. They've been eyeballing it for years. Because I remember getting a prospectus saying, would you consider living in these lofts if we rehab the mills? And that was back in the mid-90s. And then the flood came and they tabled it or whatever. Well, it got off the table. They bought it and put a few $1 billion into rehabbing this mill. And now you have lofts on a river, breweries, restaurants, and everything popping once again on the white side of Rocky Mount. Because, you know, Rocky Mount's your typical southern town. So the railroad track divides it, and the Edgecombe
the railroad track. I remember that. Yep.
Exactly. The Edgecombe side has never got any type of capital investment at all. Yeah. And it's the same thing. It's like you withhold resources, and then you blame the victims for what you've done to them and say, well, nobody wants to be in a black neighborhood because there's black folks. No, it's because there's no resources, and you have deliberately withheld resources and capital, and then created this narrative. And so the narrative is so strong that the people believe it themselves and won't invest in their own self. That's why I want to do Princeville, because Princeville has nothing right now. And I'm telling people, you can look at this and see nothing, or you can look at this and see a blank canvas on which you could paint any beautiful thing you want. Yeah. But you keep waiting, and they will come into the first African-American town in the country, and they will take that too, because you think it's not worthy. Well, I'm here to show you it is worthy. I'm here to show you what's possible. And I'm going to bring in one business at a time until you get it. And I'm not going to let you. And so now I have a cohort of Black business folks from Rocky Mount, one who bought up 10 acres of abandoned manufacturing property, and one of the oldest seed mills in the country. He owns that whole 10 and a half acres, and the Capitol Broadcasting sniffing around want to try to get it. No, this brother is online with me. No, we're going to bring Black businesses here.
See,
So this is Harlem before Clinton moved in. When everybody said Harlem was a piece of trash, and then Clinton moved in to the building on Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard, and now the white people are trying to call Harlem NOMA, North Manhattan. Harlem.
So
refuse to be placed and let that happen. If I can do a damn thing about it, because I have grandkids, and I'm sick and tired of them running out of spaces to turn to, you know, and people who don't get it, they celebrate the gentrification of Harlem. Well, now it's so much nice and blah 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 and this that and the other. I moved out to the suburbs. Well, let me tell you what's going to happen in the suburbs, honey. If you can't see it, now that you all are out there and the rich white people want to be in the cities, guess what? The suburbs will not have resources. The suburbs will decline, and they will say the suburbs decline because there's Black people living there. You can already see what's happening. How much was the toll to get into Manhattan on the Bridge 25 years ago? $2. It's $20 to get in to Manhattan now on any bridge. Same thing happening in D.C. Same thing happening in D.C. Everybody ran out to the suburbs. Everybody went to Bowie and PG County and whatnot. Now to get into D.C., you either sit in traffic for 3 hours or you pay $25 on the Easy Pass Express lane. So now if you work in a low-wage job in the city where the only jobs are, you spend your whole paycheck getting into the damn city because you were so fast leave the hood and go out in the suburbs because there wasn't who wants to live with Black folks. You see the game they play with us?
And it definitely goes back, in no disrespect. That's why the first thing I said is that my head goes off to you, because I got a chance to go there and meet a few people. I actually went to a couple of the churches there just to feel what the ministries were doing. And I'm like, my God, you know what I'm saying? And I'll just leave that right there. But so I commend you, and if anything our group can do to help, you know, then I know that, you know, we'll be able to put together something. Thank you.
Well, if you want to collaborate on the entrepreneurial piece, especially since you have that testimony, that is key. But I do respect to anybody, but I work for churches. Because,
that's another conversation that they ain't ready for.
So Lisa and Darrell, may I interject there? One of the things that we'll be having a conversation on as a team is that entrepreneurial piece. I kind of touched on it a bit earlier. We had spoken with Terrence, and so our next strategic call, I'll be able to elaborate on that and be able to have all parties on the phone to discuss some things leading up to our August conference. And your forums are going to be critical, Darrell. So we'll be coordinating some calls here very soon.
Yeah.
FYI.
So we're going to have our we have Gabriel from Atlanta. We also got another Gabriel from Texas. That's one Jetty used to get all the time. But I'm going to have Gabriel from Atlanta. He's been waiting patiently. Go ahead, Gabe.
Hey, thanks, John. I'm upset that you made me wait this long to ask my questions, but I'll get over it. It's okay. Hey, so let me just introduce myself real quick. Gabriel Martineau from Atlanta. I am the resident aquaponics expert on the team, and I've been researching aquaponics since 2007. I've done several different builds, and I have a unique system that I'm just eager to show the world, but I want to make sure I do it in the right way, and I do it with that has the ability to empower our people, and that's why I'm part of this group. And so I'm just inspired by so many people on this panel tonight. I want to say especially thanks to Lisa for being on this call, Dr. Lisa. But before I get into my questions real quick, I wanted to ask Jock. Jock Webb, are you in Atlanta right now?
He had to step aside, but he's in Alabama at the moment.
Oh, at Alabama. Okay. Because I live in Atlanta. I missed the conference this last week, but sounds like he's a gentleman I'd like to meet up with whenever he gets back in town. So I'll reach out to him later at a later date. But thank you for your contributions to this call. So Dr. Lisa, real quick, the event, it's going to be taking place downtown Princeville or at the park, or where exactly is it?
Look, downtown Princeville is one street. It's going to be in the park called Heritage Park. It's right on the river. It's right off of the 64 highway, and it's a 15-minute drive from downtown Rocky Mount, where the conference will be held. So our people will check in downtown Rocky Mount. The host hotels will be in downtown Rocky Mount. The Friday evening meet, greet, speed, networking, bar crawl, dinner, offerings will be in downtown Rocky Mount. The ride and the run and the festival will be in the park in Princeville. And if we are able to do something on Sunday, like a soul to soil brunch, like a farm to table event with a choir or whatever, singers, whatever, it would be in Rocky Mount, because there's literally no infrastructure big enough other than the elementary school and one large church to house people interiorly in Princeville. There are no hotels in Princeville. Princeville is literally a blank slate. 98% land ownership. They recently annexed 54 acres. It can be built out any way people can imagine it, but right now there's nothing there.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was checking it out on Google Maps, so I just wanted to make sure. But yeah.
Mutual Boulevard, the park off of Mutual Boulevard. On Google Maps, it'll say Riverfront Park.
Yeah. Okay. I located it.
Okay, good.
Thank you. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you so much for the passion you bring. I can tell in your voice the passion you bring and the energy that you bring with regards to empowering our folks and taking back what's ours and really showcasing what we've accomplished in the past. I think that's very valuable. I think that's what the kids of today, they need to see what contributions our fathers have made in the past and be proud about those things. Instead of seeing the images that TV decides to show us, which I think are just not appropriate anymore for empowering our folks. So I'm heavily into contributing to things that help make us prosper as a people and help us bring together like minds and collectively become the kings and queens that we are supposed to be. With that being said, you said that you're a surgeon. I heard you say that the U.S. Or the Western medicine isn't all that great. And I will say I agree with you. In some respects. I think for chronic disease it's horrible, but I do want to say that I appreciate your service as a surgeon, because those are the things that save people's lives as well. As far as chronic disease and stuff, I think Western society has that all wrong, and that's I think Dr. Ramona is the type of person that we need to have more of here in the States, and not handcuff their abilities to treat people holistically. But I do want to appreciate the fact that you are a surgeon. I know that takes a lot of time and effort. The other thing is, you mentioned something about Haiti there, Anthony and Joanne.
Yeah, Anthony and Joanne, they are two restaurateurs they're married, and they're trying to move down to Rocky Mount. When I'm telling the gentleman from the chef from Virginia Beach about how things are starting to move. That's going to be one of one of the legs of the things that I'm doing is outreach to businesses that are hamstrung and basically stuck by being over leveraged in big cities like DC and New York. They can't expand because they can barely afford the rent on what they're paying, you know, in their current location. So they can't scale up, they can't grow. So they get to a point where they're just making $100,000, but $100,000 a month, but they're spending $110,000 a month. They're still broke. And so, you know, before they get over leveraged to the point where they can't even get out, taking a team and presenting them Rocky Mount as an option. The building that the gentleman that owns the 10 acres. Have you ever been to DC to Union Station? Anybody or in New York to Chelsea Shops down in Chelsea? Nobody's done that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so it's basically the concept is they take a big, huge warehouse, and then within the warehouse, multiple different entities open up businesses. So you might have, like Chelsea Stops has about 40 small restaurant spaces. Union Station in DC has about 25 small restaurant spaces, I mean, everything from Korean barbecue to donuts you can get in there, and all in one space. So people love it. It's a great, you know, but what it does is that entrepreneurs that don't have the money to rent their own whole building can start basically a pop-up restaurant in there, a pop-up shop. And then when they get enough of a following and it's like having a food truck, and then you get enough money, you open up a restaurant. Well, you don't want a food truck, pop-up shop, get big enough, bam, open up a bigger entity. You have a small production line, get enough traction. Now you need a larger production space. Bam, you leave Rocky Mount, you go to Princeville because land is wide open and you could build out whatever you want for next to nothing. I mean, the Anthony and Joanne are trying to come down here and do a commercial kitchen. They have 300 square feet in New York that they've been working out of. They could get 500 square feet and do a commercial kitchen and ship they make Haitian patties, the best things I've ever tasted. Ship all their stuff.
It's like a studio, right?
A studio? No,
it's almost like a massive studio. It's like a really huge.
Right,
studio, but
exactly.
it has their own little spaces. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Like if you had an artist studio, yeah, exactly. You're right. Just like that. You have restaurants, but you can do whatever you want. Restaurants,
yeah, they're nice.
Everything. And just use it as an incubator. There's your high tunnel for businesses. When they grow up a little strong enough so they can transplant, they transplant into the field of Princeville. It's right on the highway. You can literally have a black mall of all these businesses that generated from the incubation space in Rocky Mount where there is enough infrastructure for them to grow without breaking their back. And then you can pop off, you can expand. In New York, like our brewer, Celeste Beatty, she's first craft brewer. She wants to open up a production space. There's no place she could afford in New York. She wants to open a tap room. She could not afford a place in Harlem in New York because the white people have priced her out of existence. And she's telling me the Harlem Business Alliance is filled with black businesses that want to grow, but they can't afford it. And they're not thinking, let me get the hell out of here. So one of our legs is to go to other places where people are now stuck and limited by capital, resources, whatever, and say, you know what? You don't have to be in New York. You could do this here. And the city is on your side. The business managers are on your side. You don't have to pay anybody under the table and bribe them to get a license. We are coming to you to help you. I mean, when I talked to Anthony on Friday, when I got the idea about him putting his commercial kitchen down here, by Sunday, I had him a realtor. He had the specs and the price, everything by Monday. 2 weeks later, he had looked at the spot. He had met the business manager for Rocky Mount. He had met other collaborators. He had met realtors. I mean, he's like, in New York, it took me 3 years to get a call back, and then it's, what's in it for me before I help you? here, you're like rolling out the red carpet. I can't believe it. So, you know, I mean, Black-owned spaces, that's how we have to move. We got to start working together.
Definitely. We gotta cut this in about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna get Gabriel Mosley from Texas on here and give him an opportunity. I think I muted him, so let me unmute him. Hey.
Hey there, James. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
I got in kind of late on the conference today, so I really don't have any questions.
Okay. Well, go ahead and tell her about yourself and where you from, because, you know, we got a couple new folks around here that might be interested in what you're doing. So go ahead.
Okay, everyone, I'm from Texas, from an area around Texas A&M University. Right now, I'm organizing my family to where we're coming together, form a entity to bring some inherited land back to life. Also, I have enrolled myself in the Battleground to Breaking Ground class with AgriLife. Also, with AgriLife, they have a lot of programs for free, online training in many different areas. So I think that's something that everyone should check into also.
What's that called again?
Well, the program that I'm in is called Battleground to Breaking Ground.
Mm-hmm.
What it is basically a training program. I think it's about 15 weeks, where they start veterans or anybody who wants to get into farming. They teach you all the concepts from start to finish. You will have mentors and all the kind of information that you might need to be successful.
And who's that through?
That's through AgriLife.
Is that Light or Life?
Life.
L-I-F-E? Okay.
What state?
Right, I'm in Texas. And the program,
is that nationwide, or is that just for Texas?
I don't know if it's nationwide or not. The program is funded through the USDA.
Okay. Well, hey, so you in one of our programs, and we need to go on and get you documented on some stuff.
Oh, okay, that sounds good.
All right, I'm gonna have Quinn get a hold of you and get some information. You got any questions for Dr. Lisa?
No, not at this time.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead, Dr. Lisa.
I'm looking at this AgriLife. Is the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension? Is that the website?
Yes, it is.
Okay, got you. All right.
All right.
Cool.
So I want to let everybody know, you know, we've had what did we have? We had the National Black Farmers Association conference. We had Thanksgiving. We've had this last conference, which was the one with the NRCS Black employees. So you know, we've been kind of scattered here the past couple of weeks, so or month or so. And so I want everybody to know that when they speak of this conference, when we were at the National Black Farmers Association, and we had a chance to meet and everything else, the subject of our conference came up. What were we going to do? And my wife Denise and Tamika both began to talk about Princeville. And so, you know, everybody had an opportunity to look at it. We went back and had our board meeting with Quinn and Darrell and Jetty and them, and we all came to the conclusion that what Princeville is doing is something that we want to support. And so we decided to join on, and that we'll be the one putting on the conference on July 1st. And they will have their event on August 1st. And as she said, if anything's possible, which all things are possible, we will try to put a joint thing together also on Sunday. And so, you know, we think that what they're doing is something that we want to support. We're trying to bring back into our communities. You know, we like to leave an economic footprint, and anywhere we go, anything that we do, we want the people there to know that that there was a reason for us coming. We didn't just come to look, but we came to support. And so, you know, when we saw what they were doing and what they were talking about, that was something that we felt passionate about. So we decided to jump in and join in. And I'm saying that because I know that there were a few who, knowing the background of Loud Station, that was one of those that was on the table of places to have that, have something that, as well as Pine Bluff. But we saw where they were having their inaugural event, and so we wanted to give as much support as we can, and so we decided to join in and assist them. Tamika reached out, and in the process of reaching out, it looks like we made a great connect. Look forward to meeting with them. I want to throw something out right quick to Jock Webb. Jock, if I'm not mistaken, you guys got an event or something that's coming up in the near future? Jock, if you ain't there, if Miss Pamela, I don't think I'm muted then. Nope, wasn't me.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. We have things that come up periodically. We have, co-op econ. We have, forestry camp, different youth camps and things like that. We have a lot of different things, our annual meetings. We are always open for other events and, to be part of what we do and to connect with us is so easy. I don't like to say something that's inexpensive or expensive. I mean, if $1 is a lot if you don't have $1.
Right.
Okay. But what it costs to become a member of the Federation of Southern Cooperative is $50 a year. I mean, really.
Is how much?
$50 a year.
$50 a year?
I don't remember the numbers for entire groups and whatnot. But it's really simple, and the resources that we have, for instance, with our livestock or silver pasture program, say with the goat and sheep, small ruminants, when you can have an entity like Tuskegee Veterinary Science Program come here to assess our animals and take care of them, that's a lot. When you think of Tuskegee, has one of the best veterinary science programs in the country, somewhere here on the planet. But those type of resources are here for members of the different co-ops and the farmers and whatnot. We are here to build the wall that you guys are talking about, that foundation that once supported Black-owned farms and the industry that shelled us out. We are here to strengthen all of that. That's what we do. We are that 40-acre and a mule recoverer kind of entity.
All right. Well, I'm gonna make every effort to get down there soon because it's cold up here, and I'm hoping that it's a little bit warmer down there. So right now, anything south, I'm making a beeline for. So I will be getting in contact with you soon, and make a run out there, see if I can get TJ and Quinn to run with me. You know, they might want to see what other little stomping hoes you might have around there.
I'm there.
Yeah. So out of respect of everybody's time, I know we try to keep it around an hour, but we got a lot of great information that's coming up. We will be starting to announce when we're having workshops. And speaking of that, Darrell, you got your first workshop set up, if I'm not mistaken. Would you share with everybody the time and place of your first workshop?
Yeah, the first workshop that the Chef Joseph's Kick Sauce Company will be putting on is on February 4th It's February 4th from 5 to 7 p.m. It's called the Chef Joseph's Kidpreneurs Program. So basically, it's the kidpreneurs teaching ages 7 to 17 how to start businesses. So it's free to the public. It's going to be held at the Jordan Newby Library, which is one of the Black libraries in the area here in Norfolk. And so, yep, that's it. And it's free to the public.
All right.
Are you doing it live?
Yes, yeah, it'll be, yep, it's live PowerPoint presentations. It's really powerful. It's very informative. And so the kids come in the room with their ideas. We did partner with the 4-H, so they're going to be having literature there. I think one of the ladies, she's going to be at the White House that day. But we did partner with them, so they're going to have literature there and help them get the kids get into 4-H programs and all that kind of stuff. So it's called the Chef Joseph's Kidpreneurs. Yep.
And what's that date again?
February 4th.
Darrell, do you have a
Yep.
If we could get that information and then we could see it live too. That'd be great.
I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna let nobody do nothing I don't get a chance to do. I got to go to work come about March or April. Yeah, somewhere in March. So this is my travel time to enjoy things. So with all that being said, I appreciate everybody coming out for Jock Webb, for Dr. Lisa, and everybody else. I don't know what's going on. Oh, Darrell's putting up his stuff. There he is. For everybody that has shown Miss Pamela Nazima, I appreciate you coming out. And I just want to thank everybody for my mother, who it's her first time. Love you, Mom. And I just want to thank everybody for showing up. We will get this out and get this on YouTube, and then we'll send a copy out to everybody. We will also have a list of all the contact information that's in the chat that will be sent out at that time also. So thank everybody for coming in. We will have our next meeting in 2 weeks, and we will have some more solid individuals. Might even have Jock come back on here and share some stuff. And I do want to tell Dr. Lisa and Jock and Pamela, you guys are welcome anytime. We have this meeting every 2 weeks at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sabrina, Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m.
Right.
Thanks very much.
All right. So with that,
We love you, Quinn. We love you.
Yeah, I'm gonna bid everybody peace. I appreciate you guys being on. Thank you, and have a good night.
Thank everybody for a good meeting.
All right.
Good night. Merry Christmas.
Good night.
Night.